Hello everyone, welcome back to Major Minor.
Hi everyone!
I have a feeling we're about to enter dating simulator mode.
Probably.
Because now it's giving me the option to talk to everyone who's currently on my save screen for affection meters. So, I was kind of talking to her about it. Inumi is kind of cute, Acheron is cool, and everyone else is annoying.
Yep. Exceedingly annoying.
Because Shock's a dick, Rook's a dick, Keela's annoying and probably clingy, and Rocker's annoying too.
Yep.
He has good intentions, but he's annoying.
Yep.
So, no. So, I like Acheron.
And I like Inumi. He's adorable.
Who should I hang out with to pass time? Oh, we only had the choice of Shock and Rocker or Acheron.
Acheron.
Well, Acheron then. I decided it would be best to visit Acheron. Getting to know our protector would be more important. And perhaps I could tell him about those texts. If anybody knew what to do, it would be him. He's standing in the same spot as he was before, his head still rotating left to right as if on a motor. I hope I don't interrupt his work or anything. It seems like he's definitely in the zone. Hey there. Something on your mind? He catches me a little off guard. Was it really so obvious?
Well, he is, trained and paid to be observant.
I'm pretty trust me, it's my line of work thing.
Yes!
I have a feeling he used to be, like, a politician's bodyguard.
Maybe?
Because he's got, like, Secret Service tactics. Trust me, it's my line of work. Reading faces is the most important thing. You look distraught, and maybe even sad. However, I realized my question was stupid. Given the situation, it's obvious. Everything is thinking about the same thing. I think that was supposed to be everyone.
Probably.
Forgive my indiscretion. It won't happen again. His apology was so sincere that I accepted anyway. I have to be honest with you. I feel a little bit out of place here. Everyone in this room must have known Clace, but I don't even really know who he was. I mean, other than that he's a singer. I feel detached. Yeah, there's one thing I know about grief. It impairs judgment. Creates vulnerability. I hope I don't seem rude when I say this, but I think it's better that we never met. I need a level head here, you know what I mean? Mental clarity is extremely important. I have to detect things that others can't. And trust me, there's a lot to detect. There are so many subtle nuances at play. If I missed out on that, it'd cause chaos. People project things without knowing. You can tell me when somebody wants to attack. It's easy to sense in their words. Or if they're silent, their movement. I can't afford to have my mind clouded. If I was impaired, you wouldn't be safe. In fact, you'd probably be sitting ducks. He seems to know a lot about this stuff. I can sense a lot of wisdom in his words. It feels good to have my life in his hands. With him here, we'd all be kept alive. So what would you like to talk about? We still have some time to spare. Yeah, but perhaps not as much as we think. Cinch could call the meeting at any second. If I could only bring up one thing, what should it be? Probably the texts.
Yeah?
Now, see, both of these are going to raise affection, I think. No, this one would raise affection for sure.
Yeah.
But this one is like, pertinent to the story.
Yeah, but somehow I'm not sure he'd want to tell you about his past.
Probably not. I'd probably get sandbagged.
Yeah.
I've been getting these weird texts. It's probably for the best for me to bring up those messages. I pull out my phone and start explaining things to him. Someone is watching you. How long has it been since the first text? I tell him that it was just before we drove here, the moment before I left the hotel with Keela. So after his death, then. That would be cause for concern. And they're using an unknown number, so they want to hide their identity. But the issue here is, they must be lying. Huh? They said they were watching you, both at the hotel and outside. They'd need to be following you in a vehicle. There's no other explanation. They couldn't keep up with the limo. I saw no other vehicles following us. He stares at the text message for a few moments. It's almost like he's analyzing the demeanor. Can he do such a thing through text messages alone? They mentioned the universe. That to me seems like some That to me seems like some petty trolling. Metaphysical jargon is a dead giveaway. Maybe your number was leaked online? You don't exactly blend in anymore. You're one of the lucky 2. Either way, I can't help much more. Text messages are hard to look into. Things can get lost in translation. But if your information was leaked, well, that's no laughing matter. I'll be here to protect you, David. He gives me a wide grin. Well, I guess now he knows. I feel a little safer having not kept this to myself. I thank him for his counsel. No problem. It's what I'm here for. Please talk to me about any concerns. Your worries are of the utmost importance. I guess that's enough chit-chat for now. I feel like Singe will be ready any second. Not sure about you, but I want answers. I have way too many questions to ask him.
Yep.
I don't trust the media, of course. I need to hear it from the man himself. Clace's tour manager, the leader. I require the truth in order to operate. I can't act on half-truths and gossip. That's just a recipe for disaster. Make sure to keep that in mind, alright? I can't help unless you're transparent. I'm unable to read minds, unfortunately.
Just facial expressions and other stuff.
I nod, since that's a small price to pay, but at the same time I know I can never be honest. I'll have to hide some information about the Ark, as well as my role in Terra. He'd never believe me. I just have to hope that he can never detect this. It wasn't relevant to anything on Earth, after all. And no need to get an innocent bystander involved. Oh, one more thing before we end this. On note of being fully honest with me, I saw a news report earlier. It mentioned Maxine Armstrong. She's in Tokyo, and this bothers me. He saw it too. That's interesting. I didn't think he'd be the type to care. Armstrong Incorporated is very unethical. In fact, they compete with guards like me. They protect through selling weapons. Think about it this way, David. Would you rather have me here, or bombs that could accidentally detonate? It's too unstable in this day and age. Almost everything can be hacked now. Doing that to weapons would be devastating. The mind, however, cannot be hacked. It kinda can.
Kinda, sorta.
I mean, it definitely can be manipulated.
Yeah.
But not in the same way and not as fast. That depends on the person.
Yeah.
So what do you say? Protection by living beings or by weapons? Which would you prefer? Oh, of course you want a person. I'm glad that someone is on my side. More people are siding with technology, but it can never replace real people. Some things still require deep thought. The protection of others is one such thing. I'd never trust a machine with my life. Well, thanks for the chat, David. It's not often I get to talk about myself. Clients are rarely interested in my life.
Damn it. So I guess asking him about his past would have been good.
Oh well. They usually only care about my ability. He goes back to what he was doing before, scanning the room with his back to the wall. I guess Singe would start the conference soon. Not enough time to hang out with someone else. Would you like to save your game? Yeah, I guess, but we're going to be forced to run this one past this save.
Yep.
Unlike the last one.
Where we were like,
Yeah, look!
Oh, yay! So that did work.
Yay.
We finally have an affection. Ah!
Hooray. I walk back to the center of the room and look around. It appears that everyone is anxious and restless. It must have been a long night for them all. But answers are so close, so we all hold out together. Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one has slept.
Probably not.
So, I think Inumi slept. In the front seat of the limo. Like a weirdo. I scan the room a few times over. An eerie silence fills the area. I feel like perhaps I should break it. But before I can do anything, the large doors open. Someone walks out and exchanges glances with everyone. This must be Singe in the conference room entrance. Thank you all for coming here today. Even though we've all had no sleep. I'm honored that you chose to be here. He bows to us, much like Rocco. In a few minutes, the press will come. The doors will be unlocked for everyone. I'd be honored if you came in first. I'd like for us all to be on stage. I want us to appear united in this crisis. As a team, with nothing between us. We've endured a tragedy. We need to show the world our strength. We are family, even in grief. Our public image is very important now. We must remain as resolute as possible. We can't have anything falter today. Please come and take your seats with me. We will begin as soon as the room fills up. He bows again and goes back into the conference hall. Not a moment later, we all start to follow him, unsure of what the conference has in store. and unsure of what shocking truths await the world. Knowing that Singe is really just playing the PR game, this is just making him look like more of a dick in my eyes.
Yep, agreed.
The morning after the tavern incident... Oh dear, now David's going to be missing. Or there's going to be another dead body. How does that work? Oh. I'm sorry this is a lot to take in. Would you mind starting from the beginning? I haven't had my morning coffee just yet. My mind is cloudy to say the least. You're not the only one who is taken aback. These events shocked me as well, my lord. I apologize for keeping my agenda hidden. You would have never endorsed my actions, even if they were for the greater good. So I had to take things into my own hands. Of course, and I still don't believe it. Endymion and Conrad are my trusted allies. I laugh at the notion of their betrayal. I'd never dedicate resources to that. Yet, here we are in the present. You have evidence backing your claim. Of course, I always validate my word. Last night I ventured to the tavern. Endymion and Conrad were there as well. But they had someone with them, an immigrant from another world. One they will not be giving to you. In fact, they are bringing him to Velasquez. This directly violates your truce. Were they not to bring everyone to you? You're keeping tabs on this immigration. Yes, that was the plan, Riley. All of it should go through me. Easier to keep track of that way. Is there a chance you misheard things? Perhaps they used Velasquez as a cover, just in case anybody overheard. Impossible. They filed the paperwork. This immigrant is now fully sanctioned. They violated the truth, my lord. Indeed. This is irrefutable proof. It's impossible for me to work with that. This immigrant is now on the records. But I wonder, what does Velasquez want? Of all the people he wants the immigrant, there must be an important person. Of that I am unsure, but I feel like it is irrelevant. No explanation can excuse betrayal. On your nod, Velasquez's stance on that is too friendly to these off-worlders. I'm glad I was able to open your eyes. You're right, and I appreciate that. But now my curiosity is affecting me. Just who could this immigrant be? My two main allies would betray me, and the king wants to see them personally. There might be more here than meets the eye. Again, I am not sure, but you could ask them yourself. I did what you would have wanted, my lord. I took action after seeing this betrayal. It was either that, or let them win. I paid this off-worlder a visit. One thing led to another, however. They ended up passing out. It was unfortunate, of course. But an opportunity presented itself. I took them. They're in our prison. Along with the other immigrants. What? Riley, how could you be so foolish? I can't believe what you're telling me. You realize what you've done? You abducted a legal immigrant. One that was wanted by the king. Velasquez will have us under scrutiny. You keep coming to me with these revelations. First it was that Kalen worked for Riley, but then you go and do this to us. We'll have two assassins target us, under the pressure of a royal mission too, and everything was going so good for once. I can't believe you would do this. Discretion was our greatest ally, Riley. 2 guilds will soon be upon us. Please, Lord Blair, I can explain. There must have been a lapse in... Your judgment? Trust me, this is far worse than a lapse. If I didn't trust you, I'd almost think... Blair stops in the middle of his sentence. At that point, he comes to a shocking realization. You wanted me to get caught.
Peep-poo.
And now the tiger punches the wolf in the forehead. We all file into the conference room, one by one. Everyone brings their sense of anxiety with them. It wasn't long until we reached the stage area. It's lined with enough seats to fit us all. We stare onwards at the empty room before us. Soon it would be filled with those who seek answers, fans, press, and everybody in between. But there was a common goal among them, enlightenment. Holy conference hall, Batman! I sit on the far right side with Keela to my left. Then there's Acheron, Singe, Shocker, and Rock. I just mixed those.
Shock and Rocker.
Yeah. A woman with long yellow hair is there as well. Oh, that's, Daz. Inumi sits beside her, with Rook to his left. It seems like everybody is here, save for Jade. But when the doors open, people spill in. Sure enough, she's among the press and citizens. It seems like Acheron and Singe are getting along. But they're lost in conversation amongst themselves. I would have started the conference long ago. But Singe is probably waiting for latecomers. After a while, he picks up his microphone. It appears that every seat on the stage has their own. Would I be expected to talk during this? The moment Singe speaks, the crowd becomes silent. I'd like to. He cuts himself off. There's an extreme feedback coming from the mic. Some in the audience cover their ears. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. I know it's early, but this has to be done. A longer wait means more restlessness, and that means filling in the blanks. I've called you here to be fully open.
The blanks.
Not the blanks!
Always the blanks.
Something has hurt us profoundly. We'll carry it with us forever. It'll scar us for years to come. So please, be respectful. There will be no flash photography today, or recording of any videos for that matter. However, audio recording is an exception. I understand some of you need notes, especially the members of the press, but this is as far as we can go. With that said, I will now begin. I relay this news with a heavy heart. Last night, our own idol passed away. At midnight, Clace was murdered. The audience starts talking amongst themselves. I see several people scribbling down on notepads. The cause of death was asphyxiation, but it was under mysterious circumstances. It implies suicide, but that can't be true. Clace was not the type to do this, especially so close to the tour's launch. It's an impossibility. Please disregard it. With that said, I'll take questions, but please remain considerate today. Remember, we are in a state of grief.
This guy again.
Sin, sure. I have a question if you're willing. By all means, Fukimoto. Feel free to ask whatever you like. You mentioned the method of death, asphyxiation under mysterious circumstances. Exactly how is asphyxiation mysterious? A lack of oxygen is not mysterious. I'm afraid I'm a little confused. The press and the audience starts nodding in agreement, as if this was the question on all of their minds. You are correct, and I'm glad you asked. And I hope you ask the same to the police. They hastily branded these as suicides. Clace had markings around his neck. They imply the use of a noose. But there was no noose at the scene. Well then, that is definitely odd. Thank you for answering my question. Fukimoto returns to his seat. I'm surprised he didn't twist any of Singe's words.
Yet.
This is why the official ruling is odd. The lack of evidence is very suspicious. And it implies several possibilities. The body may have been moved post-mortem, or the culprit made off with the evidence. Both point to the same shocking truth. These were murders, plain and simple. The affected families deserve the truth. Why were our loved ones taken from us? And who committed these egregious crimes? I stand here today speaking for the many. Those who lost their husbands, their wives, even their children and siblings. The police must reinvestigate this case. They cannot give up so easily, and they will have my full cooperation. There's one thing I want to accomplish. This case will be closed before we leave. We will return to America enlightened. And to that end, I will move on to the subject of our world tour, and precisely what will happen next. I'm proud to announce we will continue. The world tour will go on as it was planned. The audience bursts into conversation again. It seems that they weren't expecting this announcement. We will do what Clace would have wanted. Instead of backing down, we persevere. Daz will head the tour in his place. She has graciously agreed to this burden. I cannot thank her enough. Surely it is a monumental undertaking. He motions to the woman with yellow hair. Oh, interesting. So that's who she was. He knows who Clace was, but doesn't know who his backup singer was?
Apparently not.
That's so weird. The launch will turn into a memorial, not just for Clace, but for everyone. Every person affected by these deaths. A series of his hits will be performed, but Daz will sing some new songs as well. Shock and Rocker will stay to help out. We as family will honor the lost, as well as launch Daz's new career. Trust me, she is very talented. That was definitely a lot to take in. I guess they have a steady supply of idols. She must be talented to follow in Clace's shadow. I will open for questions one more time. This will be my last question, Singe, but I'm asking this as a friend. Are you worried for the safety of Daz? And of the Lucky too? What if this culprit strikes again? What precautions have you taken? We hired one security guard. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm not worried about this at all. There is no evidence of us being targeted. But there is a little more to explain. In fact, I have one last announcement, and I have full clearance to reveal this. Please do not assume I am leaking any info.
Isn't he kind of the head of it all?
He's kind of he's the manager. I guess that doesn't technically make him the PR guy. But have a seat while I continue. Very well. Now, this information is known only to me.
So who gave you clearance?
He gave himself clearance. I haven't revealed this to anybody, not even those involved in the tour. What could it be? I notice Acheron shifts uncomfortably in his seat. It looks like he's annoyed at hearing this. Yeah, because Acheron's whole deal was, you gotta be transparent with me or I can't guard you. Mm-hmm. I will be keeping everybody in here. I won't allow them to leave this building. But this is for a very specific reason. And it involves Armstrong Incorporated.
Oh shit. Acheron's gonna be pissed.
He's keeping us in here. And what does this have to do with Armstrong? Acheron's ears perk up and he looks visibly angry.
Called it.
I would be too. I know Maxine Armstrong piqued curiosity. Her arrival in Tokyo was quite mysterious. But today we will reveal the truth. You've got some kind of beef with her, don't you? You guys dated at one point, didn't you? She gave me an offer when she arrived, and I wanted protection for everybody here, both by hired guards and technology. Oh, Acheron's gonna be pissed.
Yep.
This is the sole reason she's in Tokyo. She offered us the best of her services.
But she arrived before Clace was killed.
Yeah, I don't think she was involved with it. I honestly think she's one of the Ark hosts. She's got the gear necklace.
Possibly.
We are safe now by so many means. It was all our doing. Unfortunately, we couldn't protect Clace. I feel somewhat at fault for his death. I caved in under some pressure. I initially had him on a tight leash. I didn't want him getting into trouble, but people said I was being too harsh. I decided to give him some freedom, and then look what it caused. I should have stuck to my gut feeling. Are you blaming the victim, dude?
Yep.
That's not a good move to make during a press conference. I remember hearing something about that yesterday. That Clace was being kept on a really tight leash. They said it was because the public was scared of him, because the death started as soon as he arrived. I can see now that this was not the real reason. Singe was just trying to keep him safe from harm.
No.
I'm ashamed for not realizing that sooner. The explanations I heard earlier must have been lies.
David, you're an idiot.
Aren't all protagonists idiots, usually?
True.
I don't think the public was scared of Clace at all. It seems that it was Singe who was scared all along. Was scared of his money flying out the door.
Yeah.
I apologize for getting off track here, but it was my answer to your question. That is why I'm not worrying anymore. This time I will keep the tight leash. Nobody will be allowed to leave on my watch. We'll be under constant surveillance. Further harm will be impossible. Everybody will now be protected. This time, I will stick to my instinct. I will trust in the guard I have hired, and I will trust in Armstrong Incorporated. Acheron immediately quits. Acheron jumps out of his chair at hearing this. I can hear loud growls coming from his mouth. He's fuming, unable to contain his anger. He must have been holding this in for a while. Singe, are you insane? What? Singe is definitely surprised at this interjection. The audience is as well, and they watch in fright. Explain yourself at once, Acheron. Think about what you're saying. You want to keep everybody inside after you line the place with weapons? You've turned us all into sitting ducks. Armstrong's weapons can be hacked. They're not as foolproof as you think. Real manpower can never be replicated. You can't be serious about this, Singe. Everybody important to Clace is in here. And now they're surrounded by weapons. How could you be so fucking foolish? Acheron pushes Singe back against the wall. He holds him in place by his white coat, but Singe remains calm and collected. The audience gasps and watches in awe. Of course, I read your psych evaluation. A seething hatred for Maxine Armstrong. I should have expected this outburst. Acheron, I advise that you back down. You're only compromising your position. If I fire you, then she wins, right?
Asshole.
Compromise, you say? You're the one compromising everything. You just told the world how to kill us. Hack some weapons. Set them off. We all need to evacuate immediately. Think logically, Acheron. These weapons are extremely high-tech. They can't be hacked as easily as you think.
Oh yeah, they can.
So is it like turrets on the wall and shit? I mean, that's what they're making it sound like. They need authorization codes to set off. Only myself and Maxine know those codes. Oh, great. We both desire protection, Acheron.
And just because there are authorization codes doesn't mean they can't be hacked.
No, all you need's what's it called, a spoofer?
Mm-hmm.
I will only use them if we are in danger. You believe I didn't think this through, but I'm not as stupid as you think. I know exactly what I'm doing here. These weapons are a last resort, in case your expertise fell through. And it looks like it might be starting to. I'd suggest that you let go of me. Return to your seat immediately, Acheron. You're only making a fool of yourself. You don't understand it like I do, Singe. Weapons cannot keep people safe. People are supposed to keep each other safe. You seem to be very worried, Acheron. You're scared of an infinitely small thing. A thing with almost impossible chances. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, the chance is small, but that small chance means everyone dies.
Yep. Not just one person dies, everyone dies.
So it's kind of okay to be like, the small chance exists, so there's no chance I'm using it.
Yeah.
That's how I view a lot of things. Why do you hate Armstrong so much? What did they take away from you? Acheron releases his grip, but not calmly. He lets out a sharp growl in Singe's direction, and then he returns to his seat with a look of shame. He used to work for her.
I think so.
Singe dusts off his lab coat with his hands. It is a lab coat.
Why is he wearing a lab coat?
As if in the altercation made him dirty. I am terribly sorry for that, folks. As you can see, we're all under duress. Part of why we said no photography. We're not ready for the spotlight just yet. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Refrain from reporting that incident. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, Fukumoto won't do that.
The audience nods in compliance, but lies through their teeth.
Yep.
But please, report everything else, including the involvement of Armstrong. We thought it was the right time to know. She is here to protect, not to harm. This building is armed and ready, but not all of the weapons are lethal. We have non-lethal means as well. So this place is far from a death trap. I will not use the lethal weapons. That is, unless my hand is forced.
Right.
We are protected in many, many ways. And both myself and Maxine share goals. We want everyone inside to stay alive. I think they're trying to lure the killer to them.
Possibly?
Because it seems like he's challenging them.
Definitely.
Thank you all for coming. Please leave of your own accord. Thing is, there isn't a killer. It's a ritual dragging people out of the fucking world.
Or so we think.
Or so we think. Singe bows to the audience and returns to his seat. Well, the copycat killer who was doing it with guns was already caught.
Mm-hmm.
They start to file out of the room. This was all a lot to take in. I don't really know how I should feel. I mean, am I a prisoner here now? I'm not allowed to leave. That's not really cool at all. I mean, I'm sure there's good stuff in the building. I don't...
Hopefully.
And we're surrounded by weapons. That does make me feel a little uneasy. Was Singe certain they couldn't be hacked or set off? Acheron has been extremely smart and knowledgeable. Was his outburst as incorrect as Singe let on? Or were we potentially all in a dangerous situation? I take a deep breath and try to relax. By the time I'm calm, the room is empty, save for those who are involved with the tour. Have you noticed that David has anxiety issues?
Yes, he does.
He does the whole
Massive
count.
ones.
He does the whole count from 10 thing.
Yep.
Save for those who are involved with the tour. After a few moments pass, Singe turns to me. This is the first time he's addressed me directly. Well, he tries to address Keela as well, but it seems like he's lost in thought again. Well, that was a rather eventful conference. Never a shortage of quality entertainment. He smiles at us, seeming a lot more calm, or perhaps it's like he's less professional. I guess he can relax a little after a speech like that. Being professional all the time would get tiring fast. I'm sorry about meeting like this. The circumstances are less than ideal. I was really looking forward to this. So you're the leader then? The one in charge of all of this? I guess you could say that. But delegation is my expertise. It's why I have people like Rook and Jade. I could never do this all by myself. I'd cave under the pressure pretty quick. Managerial duties are less than forgiving. He's not wrong. I have to ask, why lock us up? Do you really think that's a good idea? At first I thought it was, but now I feel like it won't be easy. At least not while Acheron is here. Are you going to get rid of him, then?
I hope not. I like him.
No, of course not. He's acclaimed the entire world over. There's no better candidate for this. Whether we agree with each other, though, it doesn't matter. He'll get the job done. He'd never risk his flawless resume. But I'd love to talk more personally. Would you two step by my office? Stop by my office. It's better with less prying ears. We have much to discuss together, and I'm sure you have many questions. I definitely do, like... Not here, Keela. But I'll happily answer them in my office. For your reference, it's room 2A. Keela nods, and I do as well. It was definitely cool to be talking to the ringleader. Give that man a top hat. I feel like he'd be able to answer all of our questions.
I don't think it'd sit on his head very well. Not with those horns.
You could put holes in the top hat for the horns. There was more going on behind the scenes, for sure. But I wonder, would he be sending us home, or would he just tour with Daz instead? He gives us another smile before walking away. Well, I guess I know where we're going. But I still have some stuff to think about. Meet me in front of 2A when you're ready. Keela walks away and exits the room. Everyone else must have left while we were talking, because now the room is completely empty. I wonder what's bothering him so much. He's taken an interesting turn in the last little bit. I think he said something about his past. He seemed uncool with getting involved in the media. Perhaps that's what he wanted to talk to Singe about. I step down from the stage and see someone there. I could have sworn the room was empty just a moment ago. But it's a familiar face, so I won't go to greet them. Oh, hi Jade. It's Jade. I guess she never left the room.
Nice to see you again, David. I almost thought I'd never get back. The media sure loved our limo. They couldn't legally touch it, though. So I just drove as slow as I could. Sure enough, they moved out of the way. It was easy to blend in after that. I came back, pretending to be a civilian. It was a good conference, considering. Except for Acheron's outburst, of course. That seemed to startle everyone awake. It's been an early day, to say the least. But Singe is very professional. He played it off in a good way. He has a way of influencing people, and that's something I find admirable. He's teaching me, and I have a lot to learn.
Learning PR from Singe? Much better than learning humor from Rook. At least she'll get the right information.
Well, I don't really have much to say. Just wanted to talk about a couple of things. I wanted to say thanks for your visit. as well as putting up with my theories.
Why don't you have an affection meter?
Dunno. A lot of people would have just walked away, but Clace's death shook things up. I don't really believe in that anymore. I mean, let me put it this way. I tried to invalidate his death, David. I immediately came up with theories. You know, how could he still be alive? In my grief, I realized I was stupid. It sounded like a children's fantasy. How could I have ever believed that?
If only she knew the stuff I had been through. I actually find it kind of funny. Roles have reversed. She throws away this belief as I embrace it.
Tell me you didn't believe what I said. You were clearly just humoring me, right?
Oh, I believed you.
Yep.
'Cause some shit went down.
Yep.
I tell her that I believed her. I mean, I had experienced the Ark by that point. It wasn't something I'd have been able to dismiss.
And she's happy about this.
There was more to this universe, and that's a fact.
Really? I was certain you'd say no. Nobody ever takes me seriously, you know. I'm surprised you feel that way, David. Honestly, I rehearsed what I'd say here, but never for that response, actually. I appear to be at a huge loss. That is extremely unlike me.
A small blush appears on her face. Why doesn't she have an affection meter?
I still can't undo what happened. Clace's fate has already been determined. I need to cope with these events. It's not something I can change. But if there is a reality where he's safe, well, I envy those inhabitants. I hope they don't take him for granted. Because I certainly feel like I did. Anyway, I guess I should get going. I guess you'll be staying here now. Better make yourself comfortable, David. Between the two of us, that's not such a bad thing. There's plenty of amenities. I'll be in touch when I sort things out. It'd be nice to get to know each other more, and we seem to have time on our hands. Ooh la la.
Why is the achievement called bargaining?
Dunno.
That's weird. She slowly walks away, rummaging through her file. I have to wonder, does she ever clock out? She's definitely the definition of married to work. Would you like to save your game?
Yes.
This one's been running a while. Mainly because it gave us a save point way too early.
Yep.
Okie dokie. So that's the end of this episode, folks. Hey, we have 2 true ending flags.
Ooh.
Cool. Hopefully I didn't fuck that up earlier. I don't know how many flags we're supposed to have right now.
No idea, but
Acheron's
I'll take
affection.
it.
Yay!
Yep. And I'm assuming us believing her flagged another true.
Right. So I guess keep believing Jade. There's something to do. Okay, so until next time, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.